Hi, everybody. It's Friday. Means it's time for some more Slay the Spire mods. We've had some really good hits over the last couple weeks. Um, the aquatic being really good last week, just really strong across the board. Um, so today we're going to visit a mod that's been sitting on the pile since I started doing this. So the Hayseed here has been on the list, I think, literally since I started doing this. It's been in there, and maybe even I'd have to go check, but it might even have been here longer than that, like in the first set of these. The Hayseed is one that promises a lot of mechanics, and feels like we are likely to be playing tangential to how Slay the Spire usually works. One thing about this one, I'd like to bring up now. I went ahead and took care of. You see how like some of these have unlocks? That was it, Emma. Thanks for the sub. You'll notice that like the Griftlands here one has like unlocks. The Hayseed also had unlocks. This had 5 levels of unlocks like other ones. And as per tradition, because we only do one run with these, I went ahead and did all the unlocks so that we have them. This week that resulted in my game breaking because of cloud sync, but it's fine. The only thing I have to worry about is maybe we lost draft hats, but we'll see. But so there were unlocks here, and I've unlocked them all. But I do worry that the complexity is going to be a much higher complexity level now that we have all these unlocks, rather than easing you in, which with what we have, that might have been the intent. So I'm stating that up front, just as a bit. Whenever I do any of the unlocks, because these happen all the time, I just go ahead and edit a file behind the scenes in the preferences folder, and usually it works. We did that with Jaina, for instance. Jaina a couple weeks ago had unlocks, and I just went ahead and grabbed them all. Something went wrong with Cloud Sync, and it gave me a blank file, and then also gave me a blank backup file. But it's fine. I think the only thing that is, I don't actually think anything is really lost, because the unlock, this progress bar is actually separate from cards being unlocked. There's unlock progress, the file, and then there's unlocks, the file, and unlocks, the file, it still has all these cards in it because they've been unlocked and played. Yeah, so, yeah. One other thing I'll mention, I've spent a lot of time behind the scenes knowing like how those preference files work, because I want to be able to do this for each of these. One other bit, I did take out some of our the ones we've completed. You'll notice Jaina isn't on the bar, and we've got 3 new ones that are on the file. 2 of which are we have Arknights, another Arknights character. Anytime you see Rhodes Island, that's Arknights. I worry about this one. We're not doing this one today, but I worry about it. You know, has a lot of skins though. Then we have I think this is a we had a character from this game earlier. Blue something? Blue Archive. Anyway, those are the first two. And then the last of the three, and I don't want to touch these for a while because they're pretty brand new. Is our OC here, who has time block blizzard powers. This one is like new this week, and I don't like to touch new this week ones because I like to give them time to update and bug fix. But you know, look, everybody's got one, right? That's how having a furry OC works. Like, that's great. A plus. I'm excited to see how this one plays out. Not today though. We're farming today. Yeah, that's just normal. But I wanted to point those out because it's time to farm. Can confirm. Yeah, everybody confirming. Yeah, okay. Glad to hear it. It's basically just how it works. So, the main mechanic, I don't know how this exactly works, but we are going to be planting and harvesting crops. At the start of we have 3 starting relics. We lose the spud here if we trade off ours for a boss relic. We're not doing that though. Let's jump on in, take a look. Okay, we got a wiggly hat. Okay, so. Oh. At the start of your turn, if you have no crops, plant 2 potatoes. And we're gonna do this trial and error, figuring out how this works. When we plant crops, we gain crop stacks, and when we harvest crops, it mentions what the harvest is here. So potatoes give us 0 cost spud attacks when harvested. And then we have a couple other bits. Whenever you shuffle your deck, for each of your crops that isn't mature, plant 1. A crop is mature if you have stacks equal to its maturity level. 1 stack of mature crop is harvested at the start of your turn. And then, whenever you plant a crop, if you go over the maturity, you harvest them all. We don't know exactly what these mean. We basically know that the crops have to like grow, right? It's a we plant a spud, we plant the potato matures, and then we somehow harvest it. All of these, this is clearly our main mechanic. Let's take a look at our deck and see what we've got. Strike is strike. Okay. Immediate feedback. In love with the card border. Right? Like, look at this. We have like these wooden beams, we have a little sunflower energy, we have the little grass down here. The art is nice. We have, little cabbage or lettuce, bouncing on a hat, defend with the hat. Yeah, it's very different. Oh, we're gonna be haymaking. Yeah, that's right. Okay. Uh-huh. Good. You ready to make the hay? So we have healing in our base deck. It's exhausted, so A+, good choice. Oh, right, the strike has a worm down there. That's cute. And then reap and sow. So reap and sow, deal 4 damage to all enemies, plant 1 potato, then add a cultivate to the top of your discard pile if you have any mature crops. And cultivate 6 block, harvest 3 each of your crop, then plant. Oh, okay. So cultivate here is like our, if we have crops, we go ahead and pick them all up and replant them to restart the cycle, however that works. And upgrading reap and sow plants double potato and does a little bit more damage. The haymaker is a little awkward as like a vuln tool because it's 2 energy and implies 1 vuln. I was kind of hoping the upgrade went to 2, but like being the healing bit, so yeah, we have a worm. I wonder what power we'll have then. All right. We can just upgrade a card. I can just upgrade the haymaker. I'm actually kind of interested in upgrading these so that they're like playable. I want our other choice would be a rare card, which isn't really like, I don't know, hard to work with when we don't, like at this stage, choosing a rare card is difficult when we don't have an understanding of how mechanics are going to work. So I don't feel as pulled by that. I'll probably upgrade the haymaker. 3 potions is solid too. That wouldn't be a bad choice. Yeah, 3 potions lets you do good things. All right, we got 2 elites. Looks like I'm kind of taking this route over here. Find this one a little bit more interesting. And then this lets us choose, though I really want to take the big elite here because this is a nicer route. I like the split. All right, let's go ahead and see. It's autumn in the Spire. Huh. Tell me about... Oh, the season is autumn. These crops are in season. Oh, boy. So from when I did the like run, this is what I was talking about like how the adding additional cards in with the locked cards might change the complexity. It added in more crops, and so we don't really have a full understanding of these yet, but we have different crops. Anyway, so we have onions, which apply weak to enemies when harvested. We have turnips. Yield an attack when harvested to deal scaling damage and adds a turnip to your discard pile. Okay. And asparagus is dexterity. And these are the season is autumn. In-season crops are available as power cards throughout rewards and in the show. Oh, so like this is like the modifier on what could exist. So these are the only crops that exist outside of potato. Ah, sure, it's orbs. Yeah, okay. So we have 2 floating potatoes, matures at 5 stacks, and when we harvest it, we get a spud for each stack harvested. Is this gonna move after a turn? Okay. How do I make use of my... Okay, that planted a potato. Orbs without passives, I guess? Okay, we shuffled, so we planted extra... Oh, we want a really small deck, then, for Night Soil. Okay. So we're gonna plant. We're now at 5, and it now has a different... There might be a mod that I have active that's breaking... Game is super cool. Oh no, I know what that is. Hold on. Was on drinking. Dang it! Sorry. I use OBS to play my Switch on my good monitor, so that I can stream it. And video games are freaking loud, so I just adjust OBS down. Damn it. Yeah, okay, so there must be like, because this looks like it should be an aura around the potato. There must be a mod that's breaking that. I'm gonna guess it's one of my, like, quality of life ones. Dang. Yeah, it's happening here, too. Okay, so we have a spud. $13 damage plus 9 plus... That should be lethal, right? Yeah. Oh. I might have to get Grift off. Grift has had some leaks in, unexpected leaks. Controlled burn. Burning creatures take damage at the end of their turn, then lose the burning. Or get some turnips. How do I guess it's night soil, so like we want ways to draw as well. So this is like constricted, but like slow. Or like one shot, not it's like slow poison or such. So apply warning burning. I'm gonna grab some turnips. Okay. So plant turnips. Turnips mature at 3 stacks. Harvest, convert all stacks into attack that deals damage for each stack, and then put the turnip back. Okay. So I guess night soil is how we mature that? Yeah, I guess we'll see. There might be other cards like Cultivate that we can find. Okay. So, wish I knew it was doing that. And so plant potato. And because we have a mature crop, we get the Cultivate for the future. Okay, so this really depends on having a really slim deck. We're gonna have to, like... 3-pound turnip. We're weakened, so this is actually, like, this should be higher. Deal 9 damage. Plant one of your oldest crops. Okay. Plant more turnips. And then we have crop rotation. Alright. So Close Scrape is probably going to plant a potato. Okay, and if we upgrade turnips, it becomes auto big turnip. Valma, thank you very much for the sub. Yeah. More powers are a smaller deck. What if big turnip? Okay. Alright, let's get the turnips down. So this is a class that, like... Alright. More turnips. 4-pound turnip. Uh-oh. Okay. And we get 1 turnip back in the yard. Okay. So that was because of the sickle. If we overplant, then we end up with... Okay. The fertilizer. Shuffle 2 cards in your hand, and you draw a pile, gain 2. Okay. So this is like a good block once, and then it's a bad block. And this is like all of our crops go up. Interesting. If we upgrade seed coat, then it becomes a good block, and then an upgraded defend, and then it goes away. Maybe having one of those is okay. Again, I don't want to add too much, but I also want to see cards, so... Yeah, alright. Sure, upgraded defense. Whoa. Okay, this is a much larger fight than I expect on early, floor 1. Alright, hopefully we'll get some potatoes going. Maybe the big turnip. Okay, turnip. Oh boy. Okay. Alright, so this will get us huge turnip. Oh no! Oh, is it 1, 4, 9, 16, 25? Is that how we're doing the we're figuring out turnips? Yeah, quadratic turnip. Deal 8 damage next turn, gain 8 block. Gain 8 block if you have squash, plant squash. Aerate. This is cute. I actually like pest management. I want more turnips now. We have a shop. Okay. Regret is gonna hit us. It always does. But, like, we have a chop upcoming, and that should be, like, pretty powerful for it. Hopefully we can go big turnip. Big turnip should just, like, solve this. Alright, so we want... seed coat, turnip, block next turn. Yeah, that's a neat way to do an Iron Wave, because it's like, okay, you get the attack and defend later, you kind of have to work with it. Alright, so then we get... big turnip. Let's plant, and then knock out that sentry. We'll take one. Hopefully we can keep, like, ourselves, like, the Haymaker can help keep us offset here. I don't like how many cards are in our discard right now. Yeah, I don't like that. Okay. Okay, we'll get a potato next turn. That's good. And anytime we plant potato... Alright, there's our spud. Alright, so we can go... bop. 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 Hopefully we get the Haymaker to finish, because the Haymaker to finish would heal us. Yeah. Cool. Horn o' Plenty. At the start of each combat, add a random in-season crop power to your hand, then gain one abundance that lasts until the end of turn. Whenever you plant a crop this turn, increase the stat. Okay. This is cute. Ah, Okay. That's cute. Okay. Smithing. We can upgrade the Reap and Sow is probably a good upgrade. Upgrading turnips is obviously also good. Pest management becomes 10/10. Sunseed becomes innate, so that it's like our turn 1 is really powerful. We want some card draw to go with that, then. I don't want Reap and Sow or Sunseed. Sunseed is like having like a really cool lantern that costs one of your opening cards. So we have like 5 energy on turn 1. Yeah, I'm thinking... They were always going to have another extra card turn 1 because of the horn now. So I think that makes this the better choice. Because we're going to have this extra card that we want to play too. Yeah, alright. Early Matryoshka, thank you. Okay. Okay. Plant 1 asparagus. Asparagus grants dexterity when harvest. Okay. So... plant the asparagus. Harvest, gain 1 dexterity for each stack harvested. Okay. And we got 2 stacks because of the abundance. Otherwise, that would have been hard to get because it's 3 stacks. Okay, we're gonna wait here. I'm gonna full block. Okay. So this should be... turnips is 16. Yeah, okay. Then our last card is just a strike. Yeah, Sunseed copies itself, so it's a better land. Yeah, so we have 5 on the opening turn. It's really nice. Okay, we just want to go... Oh, we're gonna get asparagus next turn. Okay. See, I'm gonna have to value card draw highly. Asparagus gives dex. So we have +1 dex whenever we harvest it. Bio-refinement. The first time each turn you play a card with Harvest, reduce the cost of a random card in your hand by 1 this combat. This combat. This combat. This combat. We need more harvesting. We don't have any right now. This is an awkward pickup. Alright, we're gonna be spending money to make money here. Okay, we get onions. Onions apply weak. That's gonna be nice. Let's just go ahead and spend this. Onion. 5 stacks for onions, and then random. Okay. Okay, the wound here is actually like extreme damage, so that's good. And we get the 8 block for the future turn. Haymaker. Okay. I love Haymaker, by the way. It's an incredible choice. Give me it. Whenever you harvest a crop for the first time each combat, gain 5 gold. Yeah, alright. I'm in. Plant 3 onions. If your newest crop is mature, gain 14 block. Otherwise, plant 2. Fertilizer, plant 1 of each, which is good now. Germinate. We need more harvesting. Alright, so let's smith. Bio-refinement to 1, just to make sure this card isn't a dead card in our hand, is, I think, the first here. Alright, we're about to get rid of our curse. Boy, alright. So, we get to go... Haymaker... Onion. And then we get our money. We get paid for our extra onion. Oh. Okay, okay, we're gonna take a little bit of regret. Regret isn't so bad when we have healing in our main deck. Which is, like, you know, not always the case. Turnip. Get some strikes down. Alright, so when we shuffle here, it's gonna go whoop. Womp. Okay. Is that for each crop? For the fist time? How much of a cash cow is this? Hold on. Let's plant the potato and then harvest the potato and see if we get 5 because we harvested potato for the fifth time. Yeah, that was the first potato. So it's each crop. Oh boy. Okay. That's fine. The bloomin' onion. Soil sample. Okay. Does that... I don't think that's shuffle your deck. I think that's different. I'm gonna pick up the bloom. Because we have the abundance, we're gonna get more onion. Okay. Mulch. Exhaust card, do things based on it. Deal 6 damage, plant 1 turnip. Keen edge. Spicy. Okay, we clearly want to... Don't want to regret. Whenever you shuffle your draw pile, gain 6 block. Bloom potion, gain 2. Okay, so we have potions for this. I think root down is probably worth it. I don't actually know if I want that upgraded. Singing bowl early because we want to keep a low deck also sounds like a reasonable choice, yeah. If I get the abacus, we are short by $1 for root. Well, sorry, friend. Come back when you're a little richer. I think we're good. Okay, pest management. I like reap and sow to get us more potato. Make this card, like, feel more playable. Okay, so we get asparagus. Okay, that shows the target. Immediately get 2 decks for that choice. Plant 1 onion. We'll discard defend. This is a really cool mod. Can I plant this? What will happen if I play this card? We don't have an open spot. Will it unplant my potato? It'll harvest the potato. Oh, I should have reap and sowed first. Or maybe that's fine because I get to evoke. Okay. Usually this stuff. We have 5 decks right now, by the way. Okay. Maybe the season, I think the season probably will change, right? Because, like, new season, and then there'll be new crops. Okay. Defend. Reap. And then... yeah, like, what, Acts 1 through 3 plus the heart? This is a really... okay, back up. Oh! Potato, mature. Anyway. Yeah, well, it probably is a because we just started in autumn. Okay. Here we go. First things first, let's reap and sow. Then we're gonna cultivate. So we got the harvest, and now this defend is 0. We need more bio refinement going on, but okay, that'll mature my turnips. Okay. Let's go reaping and sowing. Me sowing. Haha, yes, yes. Me reaping. Haha, yes, yes. I really like that we're getting a lot of work out of the abacus. Okay, we get a potato. Okay, uh-huh. Uh-huh. All my cards cost nothing. I'm just gonna chuck potatoes at you. Okay. Strike, pest management. So we actually want to have a big rotation of crops. Yeah, yes. Okay, so we want, like, plant turnip, mature turnip, cultivate, turnip costs 0, and then throw turnips and potatoes. That asparagus is something I hope we do get, like, for real. I want to be able to have this much dex in our deck. Because it probably will be out of season here after this. Salt the earth! Deal 24 damage to all enemies, add 2 depletions. Gain 1 less energy, draw 1 less card next turn. At the end of your turn, if this is in your hand, add a copy into your... Oh, no. Pasteurize, deal 7 damage to all characters. Crack of Dawn. In 2 turns, deal 16 damage to all enemies, plant 3 corn, and gain... What? This feels like a class that goes long enough that I feel like this is like a cool thing to add. Yeah, because this is card draw. Corn. Well, there's only one choice here. I'm not owned. Okay. Is it still autumn? Oh, or is this like... Maybe this doesn't rotate on floors. It's like each run gives you a different set of crops so that each run is different. That'd be another way of doing it too. I would agree with either way. Makes sense. Like I said, either way I think works. Okay. And yeah, we've definitely been getting out of season crops. So let's go. Buy a refinement, plant an onion. Okay. Getting a clockwork so our abundance is up by 1 forever would be really, really strong. Okay. We can make an even larger turnip. We also probably want to defend for 10 this turn. So, like... Should be like 10, 20. That's how this goes. 10, 20, 10, 10, 20, something like that. Oh! Corn! Okay. We're gonna... Uh-huh. So corn matures at 2. Anyway, we have the 20 block, so we get it the corn. Oh boy. Okay. Harvest all of your oldest crop, then plant 1 crop. Plant 2 stacks. Okay, this seems nice. Again, we've got to worry about deck size, but we have reasons to want to harvest. Okay, asparagus on 1. Looks... Yeah. This is definitely, like... Once you look at what we're doing, it's very much defect with, like, you know, a little bit more of what's going on. Okay, so we take some damage. But, like, I'm really enjoying what it's doing. We can just attack all out this turn because, like, this is just the Hex turn. It's fine. So there's our Hex. Okay, we want to go... Reap and sow, turnip. Harvest. I think this is a... Yeah, this isn't an attack yet. Next turn is an attack. Okay, these are not ones I want. Alright. Toxic Egg, Darkstone, copy a card. Thresh. Almost reach. Rototilling. This is a way to get the deck down. This was a copy. What would we copy if I copied something? I don't think there's anything I'm super into copying here. Copying Sunseed is like funny, but it doesn't do anything. It just makes my turn 1 weirder. There's one of the mods changes Toxic Egg to have like a League of Legends L on it. More corn over corn. Yeah, the reason I want card draw is that, like, it makes our deck smaller to be able to, like, Abacus and Night Soil. I think I'm going to remove a strike. Actually, I might... Yeah, I think it's a strike. And then we're going to add a rototilling, and then we're going to hold. Oh! Bottle of light. Looks like we have a little bit of leaking from, Zayo.
You want it?
That's fine. Hmm. Alright, let's go asparagus, onion, bio refinement, and then, like, deal damage. So, Snecko. What a hand. Yep. That's fine. That's a Vuln. Okay. Venus crop is mature. I guess it's... Give me the block. Give me the turnips. Give me that. Fire it all off. And then we'll pest management as well. Yeah, okay. Damn, okay. Fishing there. We want to upgrade that card pretty quick. Okay, so this will plant. And now we have 1,000,000 defend. Because we have all that asparagus. Gentlemen, behold! Strange. I'm just gonna take the HP here. Okay, so haymaker, onion bloom. Discard one of these sun seeds. Alright, how bad is it? Ah, damn. You never know with this fight. It could be 2 attacks, 2 nothings, or in between. Excuse me. Okay. Okay. I need some way to, like, up my damage. Wow! Wabba wabba. Right now we don't have a lot of ways to up our damage. There's no, like, strength scaling yet. Okay. Okay. All right. Calipers? Oh, right. I forget that's coming. It's very funny. I'm getting a million block because I have all of the asparagus. 10 decks. Ah, this is polyculture. Okay. Imagine the strength. We do need some actual attacks. Double barrel. Alright. So let's go... Oh, we don't know the turns here. This is actually a dangerous fight. I like Haymaker. I don't actually know if this is an attack turn. We kind of... Okay. Correct bet. So we want... Turnip. I want to germinate the turnip. We want... pruning. Artichokes and sunflowers. All right, let's get to learn some new crops. Thorns when harvested. Energy when harvested. Okay. Okay. Yeah, our damage is really... we need attacks in this deck. I'm doing it... mostly I'm just sitting around farming forever, you know? Like, that's strong. I like it. It's very funny. This should be like the team pump. No, it's another attack. Okay, turnip. Germinate. Big turnip. Okay. Turnip. More turnip. Okay. And here we should have it. All right, let's get some offense. Another actual asparagus. Close scrape? This is actually pretty good upgraded, and I know like having an asparagus in the deck would be nice too, but this is actually like much better than strike. Yeah. Okay. This is actually good. We're gonna heal 25 no matter what. We do not have an uncompleted Millennium quest. Let's bet. Well, that's fine. We don't have a shop upcoming, and we have... that healing is actually really nicely timed. 5 upgrades or remove like a defend. we probably want to remove here and get us... Like, I know we were at, like, 22. I want this lower. Upgraded strikes wouldn't hurt either. True, that's +3. It's effectively, you know, +3 damage on those. I mean, I say effectively as though that's not exactly what it is. But... we'll remove a defend. Alright, this should help. Okay, this is that thing that gives you an extra orb. On the one hand, having blue candle means curses would not be a big issue for us. On the other hand, we have no curses, and I don't plan on adding any. So, like, just taking the key here is probably safe. We'll see. Okay, book. Oh, this is bad. I am actually worried about death here. Okay. Okay. So we have defense, but this is a scaling fight in a very, very specific way. Because this is going to be X2, X3, X4, X5, and continuously go up as the fight goes on. Or it's going to be one big 21. Yeah, there's the X3. Okay. That shuffle? Oh, okay, that counted as block, okay. Helps. Anything that helps. Chilies, the turnips back. Yeah, that's 5x now. Okay, this is actually that was a kind turn. Okay, so we get to go. Plant squash, germinate squash? Gain 6 block for each stack harvested. Yup. Okay. Okay. And we have gained ultimate power. Okay, sure. Real ultimate power. I'm gonna take the fertilizer now. I don't, that would actually add cards to the deck, so I don't want that. Also might turn off here. Okay. I need card draw really bad, yeah. Because we now have the ability to play everything forever. So, like, turnips, Crackodon. Okay. You're getting poked. Spinach. Okay. Spinach. Ba-da-da-da-da. I might want to turn off from this. Take this route instead. I'm worried if we run into the knife again, that could actually kill us at 34. I'm gonna turn off. Well. Happy to have something worthwhile. Oh, God! Okay, maybe, especially with Jax now, our turn ones look a little nicer. That's good. Yeah. I need to find my Haymaker. And then... Harvest all crops. Deja vu. Rototilling, there's a number of upgrades here that seem good. Rototilling, polyculture, and erosion control are all really nice. The thing about erosion control is that it harvests everything and also, like, eats them all. Like, we go to 0. Unlike pruning, where we don't. It's like a full consume. 3. Kind of want to just upgrade the card draw. Card draw has now become, like, the most important part of the deck. Okay. I'm gonna want to use things very, like, specifically here. Okay, Asparagus is our freebie, is really good. Let's go... Onion... Germinate. Okay. So here's our buddies. I can just eat them all now. That wouldn't be unreasonable to do right now. I can also pick up the cultivate. That would be pretty good here. This also might be a speed tonic turn. Okay, so we can go... Cultivate. Play the defense. Crack a dawn. And then go... Harvest all crops. And we'll get 2 potatoes at start of turn. So we'll have, like, something even if we're at 0. Turnip. Turnip. Big turnip. Chilies. Baby back ribs. Here we go, corn. Spinach down, rototiller for that. Play the chilies. Fertilizer. Prune. Rototilling. Okay, I have you. You are mine. Okay. Fertilizer? Turnip, seed coat, and then plant more potato. Wow, okay. Yeah, when we have this many fields, all of a sudden the laser starts getting, Hey Luke, yeah, we're playing, Friends of Mineral Town, you know. Behold! Corn! Okay, we'll prune the corn. That'll let us draw cards. Ah, here we go. The fertilizer. This is my favorite of all of our dumb cards. Fertilizer is the stupidest. Fire the fertilizer. I actually don't remember the Friends of Mineral Town characters. I remember the Back to Nature ones though. I think Anne was the one. Anne, yeah, because Anne is like the lady at the ranch. Nope. Reap and sow. Throw more potatoes. Which slate of Spire boss would you marry? Correct answer is Karen. I mean, I don't think you're wrong. Karen's the other one I remember because there's Karen, there's 5. One at the seed shop, one at the library. Snecko's not a boss. Snecko's just an enemy. Slime? Probably slime. Donu's a good choice. Whenever you apply a debuff to an enemy, gain 4 block. Wait a minute. Guardian? I like Guardian. I'm a little biased towards slime, but... Curse key, or we can just remove 2 cards. Shapes. Like shapes as a choice. Y'all have good ones there. I think we just remove some cards here. We can finally get rid of the strikes, I feel. Okay. Here's our line. What about elite? See all of an elite that would be on your list? Everyone, pylons, Gremlin Knob. Let's see. I don't think Lagavulin isn't on my list. The one who has all the knives though. Yeah, well, Danthasana understands. We can just get rid of pruning here. Yep. Sure did germinate. Just have knives. It's true. Fertilizer. We need to make some crops before fertilizer's any good. Alright, there's all the block in the universe. Kremlin Knob joke writes itself. Look. I think that's a good assessment of the pylons. I will not take that. I would immediately lose my run. Let's see about the onion bloom before we plant the onion. Alright. That's it. Throw the turnip. Fire the turnip. Strawberries in Back to Nature were a winter crop that you would put in your you'd put in your greenhouse all the time. They give a small amount of They give the Gnawberry attack card, which heals HP when harvested. That's smart. If you're gonna heal, have it be on damage so that it's forward progress, right? Yeah, strawberries were hard to get, but really efficient. The tough crop. Sure. All right, we have $1 million because of the cash crop, so...
Wanted?
Late egg. Stock the cellar. Ethereal. Gain 6 block. Each time this card is shuffled, gain 2 block. Thresh could be fine. I think removing a card is also good, just for getting rid of more stuff. Master of Strategy is fine. This is 10 HP, that's true. And, like, maybe some cards I want. Maybe it's like 6 HP plus some cards. With all the money, that's probably a good buy right instead of this. Catch what you had? Oxymoron, right? Like, the rich farmer.
It's yours, my friend.
Aerate. Alright. Pass on those. Germinator. Okay. This seems good. Slash and burn. Slash. Far the Bandit. Bandit. I like the fertilizer the most, though. Got him. Bandit. Okay, we got health. No thanks. If we had spent more of our money, maybe, but... You know, the giant head would probably be a good one as well. I'm sorry, was that mushrooms? Don't feel like you want your spouse. Why are you still? Yeah, okay, you're right. That's a pretty big downside. I agree. Of the Act 3 ones, I also don't think I like the intangible ghost. So many mushrooms in your garden. Nice. Alright, mushroom. Gain random colorless cards when harvested. You got it, boss. Okay, I'm worried about, how quick this fight's gonna end. Oh, that should help. La Bomba! Okay, sunflower, crop diversity. Plant more corn. Plant some artichokes. Okay, then this will get us some... Yep. La Bamba. Get the big turnip. There's the fertilizer. Alright, let's go ahead and pull out everything. And then let's attack. "20 slow." I haven't seen cabbages, so I don't know. Okay. Then fire the laser. La Bomba. It is time. Okay. Turnip. Alright. We got out of there full health. The gas can. You gotta have one of these for your pickup truck. I don't think we need that because we have the planter. That's very funny, though. Let's grab this. We could have grabbed it as a zero-cost power. I don't think it's... Well, alright. Our deck has enough powers that I'm not hurting for them, so... Alright, are we taking a stab? Hey, money! That's what we were missing, really. We needed some more cash. Oh my god, that's all the money in the world, okay. Well, luckily there's a shop behind the Awaken. Crap. Alright. You know. Okay. Awakened one, huh? Awaken one gets +1 strength every time you play a power. You know, like this, or this, or this, or this, or this, or these. Anytime we play any crop. This bird, we need a scarecrow. Clearly. Poke, shield, and then double poke. Oh, single poke. That draws us some cards. Nice. Fertilizer is really nice looking here. Okay. Let's apply a haymaker. Begin the laser beam. Begin the laser beam. Ooh. Ooh. Now we are cooking. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not feeling Nemesis. Sorry, Nemesis. Chunk. Electro beam. Alright. We have to assume this is like a billion damage turn, right? Like... This is probably the best way to stop that. Plant some strawberries. Strawberries planted. And we'll go ahead and seed coat. This could be the 45. That's the thing you have to worry about, is the 45 coming out of our front. It also could be nothing. The runic dome in certain fights is a tough cookie because of that. Yeah. Alright, is this the 45? Yeah. Sigh. Okay. Oh boy! Well, this fight's going very poorly. Oof. On a fight like this, too, this is not where I'd expect to fall over. It's basically like just we're taking the 45s on the wrong turns. Fire erosion control. That means I'm not going to have any resources left to attack with because we're currently in vuln. We still have another boss in front of us, too. How do we deal with you? See, this is why no one likes Nemesis, you know? Very wildly swingy. If I go for the draw here, like we get the weak going with the onions. That's right, we're gonna cheat. Give him the old Billy Mitchell special. Yeah. So this is not the turn where we're taking a bunch of damage. Fire erosion, that's... Erosion might actually be good here because it gets the asparagus out. Yeah, I think that's the line. Okay. So this next turn is the biggie, but now we have weak going, so weak should help out. Look at the squash. Okay. So we're gonna take a hit here, but it's a weakened hit. I'm not gonna prune the potato. Okay, that's a lot of burn. This is another hit turn, I think. Eat off a burn. Take 25 here. Okay, this is our big turn, but it's an off turn, so that's a little awkward. Let's go to market. Plant turnip. And now we hold. because I need to attack next turn. Okay. So hopefully we can kill here. Wow. Terrifying. Is this just lethal? Okay. Okay. We want to... Okay. Now, can we kill from 25? Hopefully the answer's yes. Yeah, okay, we can... Throw potatoes at the nemesis. Alright. Oh, hi, Ma. Yeah, you just constrict, or you, okay. No, I'm thinking of the other boss that constricts something. We want... It is entirely possible we just die to the maw. Oh boy. I think our setup is too slow. I think that's our problem here, is that like our setup is just too slow for what we're doing. My hand is too full. We do have a million block. And like now we have like turns where we're just sort of set up and we do a million damage, you know? So it's awkward. Okay. We'll kill you with the power of potato. Alright. If we die, we die. All right. I'm glad I took the key earlier, because now we can at least heal up. Okay. Am I dead right here? Oh, this is all gonna depend on attacking, isn't it? Yeah, I can't use Reap and Sow here, I'll die. Let's just assume we're not taking lethal damage. Oh! Devastation. Okay, it's been a while since we've had the Runic Dome hit us as hard as it did here. I think clearly the Runic Dome's downside is really active here on a character who's like heavily set up on what we're doing as far as like our play style. We spend a lot of time. I don't think this says anything about the overall power level of it, especially like when it's like, yo, we have Mummified Hand in the same bit. This is an interesting take on the defect. We're far enough here that I'm not gonna do another run. Where's lots of physical DSM skulls? Ah, we got the 747. But yeah, I find this like a really fun as far as like we're doing something very sideways where we're spending a lot of our time, like we have a lot of cards that give incidental block because we just sort of like are playing a long game where it's just like, I just want to be out there grilling. Monsters? Nah, pruning, tilling. You know? Fertilizer. So, glad to have tried this one out. Yeah, we don't win them all. I think I actually wonder what the stats are. Now that I think about it, I want to say my rate at beating the heart is like with new mods. I think is like 85%, like maybe 90. Take out the mod and finally stop getting cursed by Hayseeds. But yeah, these things happen, but yeah, this one is a really neat one. 90% plus, probably. Like, I'd have to go and like do some math. But yeah, very fun. Interesting, like how we have all these. By the way, if you trade off your starting relic, you just lose this. So it might be worth trading off your starting relic if you're playing this. Might be. You might still want those as crops, or else you don't have any early. But yeah, as I mentioned, as I showed off, we have a couple new ones in here for the future. We have some animes from mobile games. Then we have some animes from non-mobile games. Actually, I don't know if you'd count as anime. I'm sorry. That's. But yeah. Anyway, we didn't even see Hayseed curses in the Hayseed run. I can understand that Hayseed curse that makes it so you can't play zeros because you can't play your potatoes anymore. So, anyway, thank you all for joining. I hope you had fun with this one. I really liked it. I thought it was going to be more complex, like very complex, but it's pretty readable once you're playing it. So yeah. Thank you all for joining. Hope you had a good time with this. If you want to catch more, you can follow. You can subscribe as well. Thank you for doing that if you do. If not, hey, plus, I'm just happy you're here having a good time. Chatting, hanging out, all that. Yeah, upcoming streams, over on VPrison's channel on twitch.tv/VPrisoner on Sunday is Bug Fables. Twitch.tv/DomeBitten on Monday is Deep Rock Galactic. And then Wednesday will be more Dragon Warrior Wednesday. So, anyway, thank you all for joining. Have a good night, everybody.